they cannot discriminate against you. Colleges legally cannot discriminate against you because you have a disability. So if you're worried about not getting into college because of your disability, like, don't even worry about that. And I have not sat down to film a sit-down video. Well, technically, I guess I did when I did my try-on haul last week. The video you saw last week, I posted a try-on haul video of clothes that I will during first student teaching. I actually just threw on this dress, so super cute and comfortable. Anyway, so this dress is in the try-on haul. So I just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys because I've been getting a lot of questions on my comments on my YouTube, and I've been getting some DMs on my public Instagram page about this, and I never thought that I would sit down and film another college video. Like, I was done with that, I thought, when I graduated and was moving on, but I thought this video would be a good idea because I literally have so many people commenting and asking me about this. So a lot of people are asking, they're like, I have CP, or like I have a some kind of like medical condition similar to CP, like some other like physical disability, and they're like, how did you go through college? Like, or I'm from, like, maybe not the United States, and maybe, like, some people are, but some are, like, I'm not even, like, from the United States, but, like, how did you go to college? Like, were there accommodations for you? And I'm like, let me just make a video. Let me just make a video about this, because I never even thought about doing this video before, and I know, like, sit-down videos are kind of boring, but I thought this would be, like, really helpful, to some of you. So, for me, like, going to college is like a no-brainer, just because I was like a 4.0 GPA in like high school honors and all that. Like, I'm going to college. And when I was in high school, I had accommodations. Of course, I did not have an IEP. I had a 504, and which is kind of like the more physical side of an IEP, because I'm very blessed and I do not have any mental disability or like any thing like that because of my CP. Like, I'm totally normal, so I have a 5.4, but I do get accommodations, and I can get academic accommodations through 5.4, so you do not have to have an IEP to get academic accommodations. If you clicked on this video, you probably know all about that. That's why you clicked on this video, because you want to know more about accommodations for college students with disabilities. So you probably likely have already gone through school and dealt with all of this. So, but for people that don't understand, that's IEP and 5.4, there's a difference. So anyway, I had that, and then when I was going to college, I'm like, well, I guess, like, do I really need accommodations? And of course my parents were like, yeah, you do, because college is like a lot more, like, even though people are more spaced out, like doing their own thing, it's not like as structured as high school. Like, you still need accommodations, and they're nice to have. So we went and met with a counselor. That would be your first step, to meet with the counselor. I transferred from CVCC Community College to LU, to Liberty University, in 2019. I transferred there from CVCC. So your first step would be to meet with an academic counselor, specifically a disability counselor, that specializes in like helping people with disabilities like navigate college. At Liberty, it was like ODAS, and then they had one at CVCC, but it wasn't called ODAS, but I guess you could abbreviate it to that. It's like Office of Disability Accommodation Services, and they deal with everything. Well, at CVCC, they would meet with me, and then I would be given a letter of my accommodation. So I ended up having to, of course, get proof of my disability by my doctor. So I did that. My doctor that treats my cerebral palsy, he just sent in a letter to CVCC, and then they were like, okay, you have accommodations, and now what? So after I got my letter from my doctor saying that I did indeed have a disability, I had cerebral palsy, and then I could get my accommodations. So then my counselor just went over with me the accommodations that I could receive, and I opted out of a lot of them because I do not like have a severe disability. My disability is mainly physical, so I opted out of a lot of things, like talk to text and stuff like that. Like, I don't need it. But some people do, so it's there if you need it. I pick and choose what accommodations I need, and like so you can add on or like subtract them. Like if you don't need them, you can do whatever. Like I added on when I was at Liberty a testing accommodation, which I don't normally like need them, but I did request extra time on my math, and then it actually came to be really helpful when I was taking my math praxis exam for to get into my student teaching. I had to take that, and I got extra time, and that helped me pass because I'm not good at math. And yeah, so that extra time really does help. So you can add on accommodations or like subtract them to meet your needs, but that's like big. I mean, really, like that's it. You just go set up a meeting with your counselor, and then you do your accommodations. Like at CBCC, it was different from Liberty. Like at CBCC, they actually gave you a physical letter, and you would hand this to your professor at the beginning of every semester. Like your class, you would hand them this letter stating your accommodations, and then like they would have to abide by them, obviously. And then at Liberty, they like do it for you. Like you go on to liberty.edu, and you go to like ODAS, like request accommodations, and then like down, you scroll down, and then I know this is a lot, like I'm throwing a lot of information, but anyway, you go on to Liberty's website, you go on to disability accommodations, and then you submit your accommodations request there. So you don't actually have to meet with the counselor every single semester that you're there, which you did have to at CBCC. But at Liberty, everything is done virtually on the computer, and then they send your accommodations to your teacher through like the computer, like virtually. You don't have to give them a letter or anything, which really helps because then you don't really draw attention to yourself. Like I hated drawing attention to myself, even though I knew I draw attention to myself because one of the way I walk to the book bag I use. And that's another tip, use a rolly book bag. I used a rolly book bag like my whole time being in school, from like 5th grade to, you know, graduating college. I used a rolly book bag, and they're loud and they're kind of obnoxious, but like use one because you don't have to carry everything on your back. So that's one tip for me for like navigating college. But you also have to like be aware of people, and like people would literally skateboard through DeMoss, which is our like main academic building, and it was so annoying, like in skateboarding, like and roller skating and stuff on the like patios and stuff. Like, why? So just be aware. In college, it's so different from high school because you have so much more independence. But like I said, like Liberty, I mean, was fine. CBC was fine. Like I honestly had a really great college experience. They cannot discriminate against you. Colleges legally cannot discriminate against you because you have a disability. So if you're worried about not getting into college because of your disability, like don't even worry about that. And I never lived on campus, so I like don't really like have that much experience living on campus, but I did look into it, and I know that they have disability like accommodations for that. Like you can be on the first floor of your building, so you don't have to walk up any stairs or like use an elevator. Like I mean, I guess they have elevators in the buildings, but like you don't have to do any of that. Like you can just be on the first floor, and that's your whatever I don't want to say like priority, but you know, that's your right to have that, and that's your legal right to have accommodations based on your disability. They cannot discriminate against you legally. I don't know how it is in other countries, but the United States actually has like a discriminatory policy against people with disabilities. Like you can discriminate against people because they're disabled. You can't discriminate against people because their race is different from yours. Like their religion is different than yours. Like the list goes on. They cannot discriminate against you. That is, if you don't get into a certain college, it's not going to be because you're not disabled. They probably would actually accept you. I don't want to say your chances would be higher because you have a disability, but like they like to see that diversity in their school. And so yeah, I think that is all for my little video that I wanted to make. I hope it was helpful for you guys that had questions about that. And again, like if you have any other questions that I maybe missed, like just leave them down below, or like DM me on Instagram. I've had a few of you DM me on Instagram, and it makes me feel so special because my channel is really small, but I'm so glad that I'm making an impact on people, or like I'm impacting like some people, or like influencing people, I guess you would say. So yeah, I just want you to know too, like if you have a disability, or like even if you're going to college in general, like I hope you have a great year. You can do anything. You guys can literally do anything you set your mind to do. Just because you have a disability, like, or anything, like it doesn't even matter if you have like diabetes, I don't know, like something else. I mean, you can still do anything. Like, don't let anything stop you in your life. Like if you have an amputated arm, anything. You know, I mean, the Bible even tells you, like, you can do all things through Christ. Christ will give you strength. So just remember that. And yeah, I just hope you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful back to school if you're going back to school. And please subscribe. I really would love if you guys would subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you're notified of all my videos. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Bye guys.